Today is Wednesday, August 12, 2024. This is a rare record and upload on the same day. Today we're going to check in with some of the automated telephone numbers that we usually call during telephone videos. We'll check in on the WeatherFone, which has been having an outage. We'll check in on the Farmer Jones Coldline, which has deteriorated significantly. And then I will show another number that I knew of that we can call as an alternative to the Farmer Jones Coldline. So the WeatherFone, which is on 3664242, has been having issues for, I'd say, close to a month now. About a week and a half ago, I called the information number on the website for the WeatherFone product, and I was not able to get through. So I sent an email, and I have not received a response to that email. I sent email to the information email address near the phone number. So I sent email, got no response. I called again on Friday afternoon and I recorded a message. And I have not received a response to that message. It's now been 2 full business days, well, including today, it's 3 full business days, and there's been no response. I have received email from that company before, so I went back to the email that I got a couple years ago, because there was an outage in 2021, I think it was, and I had emailed in then asking about the status of the equipment, and I got a response to that email within a day stating that the equipment was still going to be in service and it's just under repair. And what I remember from that outage was that there seemed to be a lot of people that were still interested in it, because there were multiple news articles that you can find on the internet regarding that outage of that particular WeatherFone in that time. So I went back to the original email I received, and as I suspected might be the case, that email came from a different address than the one that I sent to that was on the website. So today I sent another email to that address inquiring about the outage. And I think that the address is correct, because the name on the email that was signed is the same name that's on the voicemail of the phone number. So it's definitely the same person. Hopefully we'll get a response this time. It started working intermittently. Sometimes it answers, sometimes it doesn't. But the forecast, even when it answers, is still out of date. So let's go ahead and call it now and see what we got here. Okay, so as of now, it's still not working. Now, I just have to say, it is so disappointing to me to watch both of these telephone numbers deteriorate over the last couple of weeks. I have been calling both of these numbers for the majority of my life. I remember the first time I called. I have a blip of memory of that day. This is going back probably more than 20 years ago. When I was at my grandparents' house, there used to be a box of old telephones. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. It was one of those things that was there because my grandfather just never threw anything out. And so we had those telephones. There were some cell phones in there too, real old ones. And I used to go over there, and I would always take out those telephones and set them up around the bedroom over there that I had. And I guess I was getting older. I'm pretty sure I couldn't have been any older than elementary school at most. This is likely in the early 2000s. This is definitely in the early 2000s. I guess my grandmother felt that I had reached the point where I was able to actually plug in the telephones and make calls with them. And so I plugged in the telephones and I called a couple of relatives, but then I still wanted to make more calls, and so she had remembered about this WeatherFone, and I remember her saying at the time that it was from a long time ago and she wasn't even sure if it was still in service or not. So it was old then. Now it's got to be really old. But so I called the WeatherFone, and I thought it was the best thing ever. I just kept calling it and calling it. And I remember my grandmother was getting nervous that I was calling it so many times. So she then gave me the number to the Farmer Jones Coldline, and I started calling that, because then at least that cut the number of calls in half between the two. And I mean, for the last 20 or whatever, however many years it has been, I have been calling both of those numbers all the time. The WeatherFone I call almost every day to get the forecast. And they're great numbers for testing calls. Aside from the nostalgia of them, they're great for testing telephone equipment, because both of those numbers have high quality recordings of actual voices, and so you can really get a good idea of how the different telephones sound and how your phone line is working. So the Farmer Jones Coldline, it's still there, it's still working, but it's recently had a serious drop in call quality. We're going to go ahead and call that one now, just so we can get a little bit of a sample of that one. That's on 929-8425.
Family Farms Crop Report line, and as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And that's the case for our 2024 blueberry season. The season is now completed, and we wish to thank all of you who came to enjoy both our strawberry and blueberry seasons here at Jones. The next season coming up is pumpkin season. Be looking and listening for details about it coming up in September.
So you can hear a couple different things going on here. So this is a different person than what usually records the message. Usually it's Farmer Jones himself or Farmer Keith. I have no idea who this is. But the recording quality is absolutely terrible. And I think it's probably being recorded on the iPhone, because the iPhone notoriously has just garbled, terrible audio quality. Now, there's been some speculation in the comments box about what's going on with this Farmer Jones Coldline, and some people believe that the equipment has changed, and I understand why that speculation is being made, because you used to be able to hear a clicking sound at the end of the recording as if something was disconnecting from the phone line. But I don't believe that the equipment has changed, because what I think it is it's just a like a telephone company voicemail. I don't think it's an actual physical device, although it has been around for a very long time, so it might have been at some point. But I believe in the recent years it's just a telephone company voicemail, because if you call it from multiple telephones at the same time, you can get 2 or 3, actually might be 3 or 4 instances of it at the same time. So it's got to have something that's got multiple virtual lines, if you will, to it. And then if you call enough telephones at the same time, you'll get an overflow message which has that same garbled sound quality as we're hearing on this call. And then it will say goodbye like it does at the end of this recording if I let it play out through the whole thing. So I think my speculation is that this person who doesn't usually record the message didn't do it right. And that's why it's not working properly, because it used to answer immediately whereas this is taking 4 or 5 rings now to answer. So I think that something is not set up properly about it, and I suspect that the next time Farmer Jones or Farmer Keith goes to record the message, it'll go back to normal quality and it'll answer immediately. At least that's my hope. So those are the 2 primary numbers I've used for testing telephone stuff over the last almost 10 years that I've been making these videos. There is one other one that I know of in the area. It's another farm. It's called Lyman Orchards. The telephone number is 860-349-6015, and that's just another automated message like the Farmer Jones Coldline. A beautiful day today.
Hello, and thank you for calling Lyman Orchards. You've reached our Pick Your Own hotline for Wednesday, August 14th. It's a great day to come out to Lyman Orchards, and today you can pick in the orchard, get lost.
Well, I guess I got the date wrong. It's not the 12th, it's the 14th.
The golf courses at Diet 1741 Pub and Grill. Pick your own peaches, nectarines, apples, pears, sunflowers, and blueberries are open from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. The blueberries are while supplies last. The peach, nectarine, apple, and pear supplies are excellent. We are at the end of the blueberry season. The supply is good to start. The peaches are yellow flesh and white flesh, and the nectarines are white flesh, and they're freestone. The apple varieties are ginger gold and ruby red. The pears are class favorite. We provide containers, so there's no need for you to bring your own containers. The blueberry price is $7 for a pint container and $10 for a quart container. The peach, nectarine, apple, and pear price is $15 for a half-peck bag, $25 for a peck bag, and $45 for a half-bushel bag. You save the more you pick. The price includes the cost of the container. The picking areas are at different locations. Follow the signs. For GPS directions, use 105 South Street, Middlefield, Connecticut. Follow the signs as you approach this address. The Sunflower Maze is open from 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. This year's theme is the Harvard Yard Field. It's a fun design.
So this recording is also being recorded from a cell phone. Probably not an iPhone because it's fairly clear, or this person knows how to speak into the handset properly, which seems to be a common issue today. People don't know how to speak into the phone properly. So this recording is not a really nice analog quality like the Farmer Jones Coldline was, but this is pretty satisfactory. You can hear some digital corruption there, some clipping, and some of the sibilance noises. You can detect the highly compressed digital audio sound, that compression sound, but it's generally acceptable audio. So I think for now I might start using that Lyman Orchards Coldline for telephone testing instead. But again, I am hoping that and I think that it will, the Farmer Jones Coldline will return back to normal soon. So that's our August 14 update on our telephone numbers, automated telephone numbers. I'm going to give it into next week, and if I do not get a response from I think his name is Chris over at the WeatherFone, I will go ahead and try to call M&T Bank. I'll call one of the local branches and see if I can find somebody who knows about the WeatherFone unit. I'm sure there's got to be someone that works there in the IT area that's aware of the machine, but it's probably going to be a wild goose chase trying to make contact with that person. Most likely all the people that work in the call center have no idea what that thing is. And it looks like my telephone just dropped the signal for some reason. I wonder if the power went out. Oh, never a dull moment.